Oh, I'm just rocking out here. How are you guys today? It is nice to see you all here. I'm looking at my levels. Let me just quickly go over there so I can see. Oh, yeah. Okay. I'm okay. I'm okay. So we have, let's go and put up some of these. You see that we got some nice lower thirds. We got DeWitt in the house. Hello, everyone. Michael Robinson. Shawdell 3D, hello to you. Andy Mack. Mason Dixon Railroad, hey all. I'm assuming that's a railroad. And we got a few other people in here as well. Good afternoon. Welcome, 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 welcome. We have got some pretty cool stuff going on today. I'm just going to turn that down just a little bit more. There we go. There we go. That's better. Let's go and bring this guy up. So yes, we have some new stuff going on. I've been working diligently for you. And there we go. Don't forget to do that. Hit that little like button. Nobody said anything about that in the chat yet. So I'm going to let you guys do that. And then there's something else I'm going to show you guys in just a few minutes. But first, I want to recognize all of these fine people for being members of our community. And you guys know who you are. You got little icons beside your names. Hey, there's Max CJ1234. Welcome, welcome, welcome. There's all kinds of debate going on right now, which I'm kind of excited about. So let's just see what we got going on here. We're going to talk a little bit about this today. Eric Anderson, not Easy ABL. Alan is my first name. Mason Dixon Railroad is the hobby channel. There you go. Okay. There's Ricky B. Hello, sir. Hello, hello. So you guys will see we have some lower thirds going on. Okay. So Eric Anderson's asking, what is the best ABL or auto bed leveling sensor for the Ender 3? There is a wide debate on this. Some people are saying the Easy ABL from our good friend down in the U.S. Some people are saying a BL Touch. Some say a CR Touch. A CR Touch and a BL Touch are very much the same. You guys know that. Easy ABL, I have used an older version. I will admit I haven't used one for a very, very long time. But I have used one in the past, and I got to tell you, it was okay. It was probably first generation Easy ABL. It has changed a lot, so do your research. I particularly like the BL Touch because it's easy to install, it's easy to configure, it can pretty much go on any machine, and it's widely sold and widely supported. Easy ABL is only supported by the company that sells Easy ABL. So yeah, there's a whole bunch of different things going on there. All right, so TH3D, there you go, TH3D. That's the guy right there. That's the guy you want to be in touch with. TH3D is Tim, not our Tim from DeWitt, of course, but Tim over at TH3D. He's done a lot of innovation, hardware, software. It's worth going to check out, but do your research. It's something I always say to people: do your research. I prefer the BL Touch myself, but to each his own, right? Do your research, decide what's best for you. Yeah, which ones are the new ones are better? I agree that the new ones are better. Let me go back to this. Max CJ, I think the new ones are better. The new version is better. I think that also the innovation that's been made in BL Touches and CR Touches is also very good. So I can't really complain too much about that. What's the benefit of an auto bed leveler versus trying to do it by hand? You still have to do it by hand to get things set up correctly. But then you can just run a G29 code and it will basically do a mesh of the bed. So that way if you set it up right, your nozzle should ride any waves in the bed that you'll have. And that's the same with any other ABL, because it's going to probe certain points on the bed. So once it's done that, it's going to take that information so that you get the proper thickness all the way around. So you want to make sure that first and foremost that you have for sure done your homework first, and you've done your due diligence and gotten that bed as level as you can, or trammed properly to the tool head. That's also going to help. Hey, listen, I want to remind you, if you've got a question, please put Q in front of your question so that I know that it's a question, because otherwise I'm going to be doing this all day. But that's a good part. Hey, listen, before we go on to doing too much, there is something I want to share with you guys. You know, last week I talked about having the ability to have callers call me. And today we have that. We actually have that. So I'm going to share with you the toll-free number. Let me get this out of the way. There we go. So this is the toll-free number, 855-891-4275. The phone is set up. So give me a call on that number if you want to have your question answered live and be a part of the show today. I hope somebody will use it. That's why I added this feature to the show. So it just gives us another way to interact with each other. We've got 16 people currently watching. Make sure that you do please hit that thumbs up. It is going to definitely help. If you want to be a part of the show, use that number, 855-891-4275. And there is nobody on the line right now, so the first caller through will be on the air. Game changer, DeWitt. Yes, it could be a game changer. We're not sure. We'll find out. We'll find out. All right, let's go. Let's put that back up. All right. So, the other thing I want to talk to you guys about today is if you've seen anything that's been going on the shorts I've been doing for filaments.ca recently, you will notice that I have been playing around with some orange flexible material, this stuff. And this is a temp tower. Yes, I even do a temp tower for flexible material. How well did this turn out? Well, let's just put it on the camera and I'll show you. Let's just move here. 3D experiments. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh, stop hitting your microphone there, Mr. Cleveland. All right, so let me just switch cameras real quick. There we go. All right, so this is a temp tower. You guys have seen these a million times before. This little guy right here, this is designed to, let me make sure that's on. Okay, that's good. All right, this is designed to give you an idea of where your temperature is sitting at. Now, based on this information, I found that 235 was probably the best that I got. It had the least amount of drooping and that sort of thing. So I really thought that this was going to be a good idea. And to be perfectly honest with you, it was the right choice. Now, this is a little, my first test print on it. And I'll tell you what filament I'm using here in just a second. Now you can see this has got some squish to it. This is done with just draft settings. So it's got two walls, 4 or 3 tops and 3 lowers, or 3 bottoms. And then it's got a cross infill inside of it. This one actually, no, let me correct that. I did more bottom and top layers. The reason I did that was because the first time I did this, there was a hole in the top. And that was a big problem. So this is a much better way to go with. I think I did 6 on the bottom and 8 on top. That was how I did this one. So 6 on the bottom, 8 on top. And that was this little guy. And then, of course, I did my favorite beaver. So now I can squeeze the beaver. And again, this one here, this one has, I did this one with 4 walls, 6 bottoms, 6 tops. And it came out really, really well. And this is at 200% scale. So it is, It's one of those things that I thought was a good test because I can squeeze it. It has some rigidity to it. I need to get myself this one here. Why are we getting these guys? We are going to remove this guy. We're going to remove this one. Why do we keep getting these ones? We are going to hide user on this channel. There we go. That way we don't see those. Why are we getting these XXX ones? Yeah, there we go. DeWitt is my moderator today. I don't have any other moderators, so DeWitt, thank you very much. Yeah, it's that time of year. Everybody's getting them. Got them. Thank you very much, sir. Thank you very much. Okay. Let's go back to this camera. So, yeah, if you've got a call or if you've got a question, you can call me today at 1-855-891-4275. Please give it a try. I'm interested to hear from you. I think our audience is interested to hear from you. It costs you nothing, and it's a great way to have your 3D printing question answered. Spammers are in full force for a lot of live feeds right now. Yeah, I've seen a lot of that, Mason, or Mason-Dixon Railroad. I just like calling you Mason-Dixon. I don't know why. The Mason-Dixon line. Oops, forgot the S. Ah, there you go. What was the filament? Yes, I was getting to that. Sorry. The filament that I'm using is NinjaTech Cheetah TPU. Now, I tried doing these things first and foremost with the regular TPU, which is just the Ninja Flex. And I kept getting not good results. Both my Prusa and my CR-10 just would not handle it just because it was too soft. It was grinding, it was getting stuck, and it was starting to pull out. We do have a caller. Let's check out the caller. There we go. There we go. Let's see who we have on the line. So who do we have on the line this afternoon? Hello?
Eric Anderson.
Hey, Mr. Anderson, how are you?
All right, about yourself?
I am doing great. I love that accent, man.
Thank you. I'm from the South.
I love that accent. I don't know why, but I do.
I never thought of myself having an accent, but I guess I'm just an old country boy.
There you go. There you go. So let's find out what your question is this afternoon.
I'm sorry. My mind just went blank.
Well, that's okay.
I had a question and it just went nowhere. I guess one question I have is that I don't remember you saying what kind of rubber piece you was playing with.
Yeah,
are you using the TPG?
TPU, actually, it's NinjaTech's Cheetah TPU. Now, the reason I chose the NinjaTech Cheetah TPU is because it is a little stiffer than the regular TPU. It's not as soft, so it prints a little bit nicer. It's easier to go through direct drive systems that don't have a very narrow feeder. Like on the CR-10 V3, it's got that sort of Titan extruder, but there's a definite space to where there is an entrance to the actual line that's going down into the hot end. So that little area will cause a thinner or a more flexible filament to get thrown out. So of course you're not going to get a very good print. So the problem with that there being is that I can't use it in that printer. I can't use it in my Prusa Mark III either, because the Prusa Mark III has a little space as well. So it kind of just balls up in there, and it doesn't feed down into the hot end as well as it should. But the TPU, the Cheetah TPU, being that it's a little stiffer, it still has elasticity properties to it. It's not as stiff as, say, the Armadillo. but it is great for things like gaskets, if you're going to be doing RC car tires, um, or anything that could be related to RC car, or if you want to do a phone case for your cell phone, that would also be a great idea. You could use it for your cell phone case.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
My look is well, like we said, for the tires.
Yeah.
RC tires. What about temperature? Do you need a box?
No.
For higher temperature for that?
No, actually, I printed at 235 on an open air printer, so no box, no nothing. I had the bed set at around 50 degrees, 50, 60 degrees, somewhere in there, if I remember right. I think it was about 50 degrees I had it set at. And I just let it print, and it printed really nice. What you are going to need, though, if you're using glass or a nice smooth surface, is you are going to need some sort of adhesion promoter, and whether that be glue stick or anything along that line, you're going to have a little bit of an adhesion promoter just to get it to stick properly.
What about the painter's tape? Will it stick to that?
It will stick to painter's tape as well. As long as it's got a little bit of a texture or some sort of sticky property, you should be fine.
Yeah, that's what I'm working with my Ender 3, because my bed is warped real bad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the questions I was talking about, the bed leveling sensor.
Right.
Because my bed is warped real bad.
If your bed is really warped, one of the things that you can do to kind of alleviate that, you know what actual duct tape is, correct? The silver metal tape that you'd put on your ductwork in your home?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a metallized tape. If you get that, you can actually cut that down into squares or strips and put that in the unlevel areas of your bed, like where you're having really bad dips, or if you've got a really bad a corner that drops really far, or a hump, you want to build up around that hump, you can certainly do that. That's what I've done in the past, and because it's a metal tape, it's aluminum, so it transfers the heat really well. And if you've got glass on your bed, like most people do, I don't. You don't have glass?
No, mine's the regular, I guess the older version texture, where it's real thin.
Oh, yeah. Get rid of that stuff. Get rid of that stuff as fast as you can.
Yeah, I plan on it. My idea is to get the magnetic flex bed.
Yeah, that's also a good idea. The magnetic flex beds, just bear in mind that if you are going to print stuff that requires a hotter bed, up around 80 degrees like PETG, you may lose adhesion from the metal plate to the bed, because those magnets that they're using aren't usually a high heat magnet, which means that around 80, 85 degrees, they start to lose their magnetic property. So if let's say your print gets knocked a little bit, it can knock that actual plate out of alignment and then ruin your entire print. So that can be a bad thing.
The TH3D Studio has a magnetic bed that is supposed to be for higher temperatures. Oh,
then that's great. Yeah, try that out. My recommendation, however, is I always go with glass. Glass is truly flat. If you buy borosilicate glass, don't use glass out of a picture frame or anything like that. You can buy glass specially for the Ender 3 bed, and it will have a beveled edge, and it's borosilicate glass. Now, what I mean by that is that it's the same glass that Pyrex is made out of. So it's designed to handle the heat and distribute it properly. That will go a long way to helping you with keeping a level bed, even if there's some discrepancies in the actual aluminum bed itself. The glass is not going to conform to that, much like the magnetic beds will. Glass will always be truly flat. And all you need to do is just use a few binder clips. I normally have one around here. I've been cleaning up.
That's what's on my bed, the bed I have now.
Yeah.
The small clips.
Yeah, those binder clips will help a lot. And I think that, you know, even though magnetic flex sheets are great, they do still conform to the bed underneath, whereas glass is truly flat and it's going to remain as flat as possible, even if you use the binder clips. The metal is going to conform more to the actual glass bed than the glass is going to conform to the metal, just because the glass won't move. Like it's very rigid and it won't move with the heat deflection. Okay, now
by saying that, and I'm going to comment with this
Sure.
first before I ask the second question. I have a Anycubic Max X that has the glass bed.
Yep.
But the glass bed actually comes from them isn't that good because it forms to the bed.
Gotcha. Then they're probably not using borosilicate glass. The thing about borosilicate glass is it won't move.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I keep interrupting you. I'm apologizing.
Oh, no worries. Yeah.
But anyway, my other question is, what for the Ender 3? What glass bed would you recommend I get that's not really super expensive and like you said, that won't form to the bed?
Are you an Amazon shopper?
Yes, sir.
Just go onto Amazon and type in Ender 3 glass bed, and there will be a whole list of them that come up, and you'll find any one of them that is just the clear glass will be fine, and or you can get the actual Creality glass, which on one side it's textured and on the other side it is not textured.
I looked at those. I didn't know if they were good enough or not.
They actually are. I have the larger one on my CR-10 V3, and it works just fine. When I'm doing normal PLA, that sort of thing, I usually will just have it on the black side with the grid, with its textured side up, and I'll print onto that. However, when I am printing with PETG or with this flexible material like I was printing with this week, I will flip it over and get the smooth side up, and then I will go ahead and just put a little bit of an adhesion promoter like glue stick or magic goo. I used magic goo for this one just because it had such a large bottom surface, but it worked fine. It didn't peel up. Nothing happened to it at all.
That's interesting. That brings me to another question. Is I'm not familiar with all those glues that everybody keeps talking about.
I hear you.
I get confused on that. I have used a thing that I did get off of Amazon, some kind of texture glue.
Yeah.
And it's not, I don't know if it's because of the bed of the Ender 3, but it didn't work so well for me.
I would suspect that you're using the wrong glue. The best glue to use is Elmer's purple glue stick. You'll find it in the school aisle of Walmart, like where the kids' school supplies are. It comes in a tube. It's about yay big.
The orange and white tubes?
That's the ones. Yeah, they say Elmer's on them. And the Elmer's purple glue stick is very inexpensive. I buy a pack of 3 of them at back to school time, usually for about $5, and they last me over a year.
Cool. I'll try those.
Yeah, you can't go wrong for $5 and you have enough glue stick to, unless you're like me and you tend to lose them. You know, I put them down somewhere and I don't know where I put it. But yeah, and then I look in a drawer and I've got like 6 or 7 of them open.
You got too much clutter?
Yeah, you got that right.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I lose stuff in my clutter stuff, and then I'll have to spend 2 hours trying to hunt it down.
Yeah, I hear you. I always use glue stick when I'm using PETG. I use glue stick when I'm using, you know, rubberized materials or flexible materials, anything that has an elastopolymer in it. I don't typically use it when I do ABS, or pardon me, yeah, ABS, but I don't do a lot of ABS anyway. This stuff that I talked about last week, I don't know if you were on the show last week, the Regen from filaments.ca, the PHA. I used glue stick with this stuff because it has such a low temperature for holding on to the bed. It worked out really, really well. So glue stick works. That's my first recommendation to everybody. Just get yourself some purple glue stick from your local office supply store, or go to Walmart into the kids' school supply section, and you'll find it there. It's usually really inexpensive, and it lasts a long time, and it cleans up with water. That's the other benefit to it.
Yes. Last time we used to use them in school for art.
Yeah, yeah.
And yeah, you wash your hands after you get through using them.
Yeah, you bet. Yeah. You can also dilute just regular PVA glue, like the white glue that you would get in a tube or in a bottle. You can also dilute that with water and then brush it onto your bed as well. Somebody was just mentioning that as well here in the chat. So I wanted to make sure that I pointed that out to you. If you don't have any glue stick, that's one way that you can do it. I never recommend things like hairspray or anything that's an aerosol, because it can get on everything, literally. Literally, it can get on everything.
Yeah, that I didn't understand. You see a lot of that being recommended on YouTube.
Yeah, and I think they're wrong.
I never understood that. Like you said, it'll get on everything it sprays.
Yeah, well, it does, because it's an aerosol. And no matter where, have you ever gone into the bathroom after your wife has sprayed her hair to set her hair with hairspray?
Oh, God.
Everything is sticky, right?
I'm not married.
Oh, okay.
But I used to date a girl that's all, probably every 2 hours she'll go in there and spray her hair. And I can't stand the stuff. So,
yeah, it just gets everywhere. And that's the problem with aerosol sprays. They just get everywhere. So they can get onto the hardware of your 3D printer, like the motors and areas like that. And it can cause a real problem over time, especially if you're lazy like me and you don't always maintain your printers like you should, re-greasing stuff and that sort of thing. So that's something to bear in mind. So, and also get yourself a bottle of isopropyl alcohol and one of these, which is just a microfiber cloth. What I tend to do is, between my prints, I will wet my cloth with some isopropyl alcohol, and then I'll just wipe over the bed just to kind of re-level things out. And I don't always have to reapply the glue. So that's something to keep in mind as well. Alrighty?
That helps out a lot. I sure appreciate it.
I appreciate you calling today. Thanks.
Thank you.
Alrighty. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, there we go. We hope we answered that question to everybody's satisfaction. Look at that. It actually worked. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for being the first caller. Oh, okay. These guys are now talking about nanopolymer adhesives as well. Okay. 3D experiments. Yeah, diluting nano adhesives really make it a lot cheaper. Yeah, well, that's the problem with these glues that are out there, these adhesives that are out there, is some of them are just so freaking expensive. And at the end of the day, a simple glue stick is going to do everything that you need it to do. I hate to say that, and I don't want to call down anybody's product, but nobody has made a product that is as simple, as economical, and as cheap to use as a glue stick. Shaggy, sorry I forgot the queue. Let me see if I can find your question there, Shaggy. It has gone past me. I may have missed your question, Shaggy. Can you put it in the chat again for me, please? Shaggy Man? Shaggy Man? I'm feeling kind of shaggy too. My hair's really, really long. I like the fact that there's a nice discussion going on about adhesives in the chat today. We do have some music going. There we go. All right. So we've got lots of things going on here. I set up the Stream Deck this week with some buttons so that I could do, you know, simple things like this. Don't forget to subscribe, because that's always important. We need you to subscribe if you're not subscribed already. I looked at my stats, and 83% of the people that watch this channel or watch the videos on this channel are not subscribed. So if you're one of those people, make sure that you do subscribe. It helps out the channel a lot, helps us grow. It also helps us out with other things as well. So I hope that you will subscribe. And there's my little border back. I still got to do some fancy schmancy stuff with my Stream Deck. Just let me see if I can give you guys an overhead view of that real quick. Okay, let me bring this down. Okay. All right, so I'll go to this camera right here. So you can see that we have the Stream Deck going. And on the Stream Deck, we've got just some simple buttons set up. But if I go back to here, you can see that I've got even more buttons set up. And once I get them all set up properly, I will be able to go in here. And this is where I'll be able to control everything. But for now, I'm just controlling things like this. So yeah, it's a lot of nice stuff. Where do you source 90% ISO? Ace has it for $45 a gallon, which means high, but I didn't see it anywhere else. This is actually a really good question. Let's go back here. That's actually a really good question. Where I get mine, I buy it in 2-liter quantities from Costco. I think for us here in Canada, it's about, I want to say it's about $10 or $12. It's not that expensive, and it goes a long, long way. A long way. Shaggy Minute says, I use hairnet hairspray. Stop using hairspray, Shaggy Man. I'm going to tell you why, and it's something I just covered here a few minutes ago. It is a pain in the butt. When you get that stuff all over your equipment, it becomes a real pain in the butt. So and let's see. Oh, I know what's happened here. Bum, bum, bum. Can I bring up my phone number? Oh, I know why. I know why that's not coming up. There we go. There we go. There's the phone number once again. We have the number up. It is 855-891-4275. Give me a call if you want, if you've got a question and you'd like to have me answer it for you. From a company called Dustronics. Yeah, you can get it. You can get it on Amazon as well. It's one place to get it for sure. I just go to Costco because it's local. $50 Canadian. Wow, that's huge. That's huge. That is huge. Yeah, at the end of the day, Costco has it. You can get it online at Amazon. Don't buy big drums because you're not going to need big drums. For the amount that I go through in a year, unless I'm doing a lot of resin printing, for the stuff that I have, I usually have a 500 ml bottle sitting by the printer in the back there. And that's all I really need. I don't really need a whole lot more. So yeah, it's if you get four of them in a box at 500 mils, so it equals 2 liters, and it's about, like I said, $10 to $15 here in Canada at Costco. Not that Costco is the place that that we are promoting, but we do want to promote filaments.ca though. Filaments.ca is your source for filament in Canada and the US. We do have a variety of different filaments. Our best-selling filament, which is our Econofill, and I say our because I also work for the company now as well. So Econofill PLA is the best-selling filament, which they manufacture right in Ontario. So it's Canadian-made, sourced from North American-made materials. Nothing is made in China. And they come on cardboard reels, so the cardboard is recyclable. So that's always a good thing. 3D experiments. The tube is jammed with filament. Can you use more filament to push it out? Yes, you can. What I would do, first and foremost, let me just bring this one up. You can. What I would do is I would bring your printer to its maximum heat, let things cook a little bit in there, and then use another piece of filament to push out that jam. It usually works really, really well. John Gavlik, he says, do you know anything about vapor smoothing? Yes, I do, and it depends on what you want to vapor smooth. PLA, you can vapor smooth PLA. There is materials that will allow you to do that. Vapor smoothing, ABS, pardon me, is just going to be using some acetone to vapor smooth it. But at the end of the day, I think that you can, if you don't need to vapor smooth, to be perfectly honest with you, vapor smoothing doesn't do anything for the structure of your product. If you're going to want to finish it in some way or another, pardon me, if you're going to want to finish it in any way, my recommendation is just sand it down, put a little bit of filler in it, and to fill it, you can use the plastic wood putty that you can get at any hardware store. Elmer's makes a great plastic wood putty, and it sands off. It's non-toxic, and it's easy to clean up with water. And then you can spray paint it or whatever you want to do. That's always a good thing. Acetone is toxic. Yes, it is very, very toxic. That's the thing about vapor smoothing, is that most of the chemicals that you're going to use to vapor smooth are going to have some sort of toxicity to them. So you are going to have to wear some sort of air protection or lung protection, whether that be a mask or anything like that, and have good airflow inside the room in which you're working with. So I prefer to do the old elbow grease thing and just go ahead and sand it down and then finish it that way. You get a much better finish in the end as well. Where'd you get that deal? There you go. Where'd you get that deal? Would have called, but I wouldn't want to overload the show with another Southern accent. Shaggy Man, give us a call. That's what I set up this line for. 855-891-4275. Give me a call, even if it's just to say hi and test out our phone line. Go ahead. Give me another Southern accent. I love Southern accents. There you go. Yeah, see? 3D Experiments says just call in. We've got everything going right here. And it's something new I added, and I'm sure it's going to catch on as we move forward and we do more of these shows. But it is a great thing to have for you guys. That way you get your questions answered and you actually get to talk to me. And I don't feel like I'm sitting here by myself. There you go. And we may run long today. I'm not too terrible. Max CJ, he says he's in Manitoba. Go to Costco, Max CJ. Are you in Winnipeg, or whereabouts are you in Manitoba? That's my home province, is Manitoba. Yeah, I've actually gotten some of DeWitt's alcohol. Oh, boy, does that sound bad in a lot of ways. Yeah, I got some of his alcohol once. It was good. Okay, what is that number? I'd like to call in. John says that number is, let me put it up on the screen. Oh, you're in Winterpeg. That's good. That's good. That's good. Let me just put that number back up on the screen. It is 855-891-4275. You can give me a call, and we can talk a little bit about your 3D printing problems. Winterpeg, yes. I spent the many years in Winterpeg. That's where I got my big start, as it were, in the entertainment business. I started in Thompson, Manitoba, where I grew up, and then I moved to Winterpeg. And you think winter is bad in Winnipeg? It's even worse in Thompson. We have two seasons where I come from, or where I grew up, and that is winter and not winter. And the not winter season is not very long. A lot of people will call it mosquito season. Well, we've got somebody on the line. Who's on the line?
Josh Fullerton.
Hey, Josh, how are you today?
Good, yourself?
I am doing well. Josh, what's your question?
Excellent. Well, I have the Ender 3 Plus, and the bed, I some of the filament is sticking. Now the chisel they gave me scratches the bed. Is there any other thing that I could use for that?
It's scratching the bed.
Off?
What type of bed are you using on that? Is that one of those floppy ones?
Yeah, it's this spring metal.
Oh, it's spring metal?
Yeah, it's spring metal. So basically it's magnetized. You pull it off, you can bend it.
Yeah.
The mold pops off, and then you slap it back on there. But it seems like I'm using PLA Plus.
Okay.
And yeah, so and I use it at 200 degrees Celsius.
Yeah.
So it's it gets a good a squish, a good first layer there. But apparently it gets too good of a squish to where I can't get some of the filament off, and the chisel that it comes with is kind of a little more aggressive than it needs to be, I guess you could say. So it tends to scratch that material.
Yep.
I'm probably going to have to buy a new sheet as it is, but I was just wondering if you guys had a suggestion on something else I could use. I even tried printing like a scraper. I mean, it was more of an entertainment purpose than it was functional, I guess you could say. So,
okay, there's a couple of things I'm going to suggest to you. First and foremost, I want you to get a little bit more of a gap between your nozzle and the bed. I think what's probably happening here is you're pushing too far into that metal, and that's why it's so tough to get off. So you might want to increase that gap just a little bit. You can do that by baby stepping or going into the offset and just setting the offset just up a little bit, like not very much. You can go 50 microns or you can go 100 microns, but I wouldn't go much more than that. Just step it up just a very tiny bit. Secondly,
step it up like 1 or 2, 3.
Yeah.
1 to 3 steps. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because I've seen that to where it was a gentleman I watched on YouTube showed to where if it's too much, it kind of leaves a V in it, and then if it's too little, I follow you. All right.
So if you just step it up just a couple of hairs, you'll be just fine. Now, secondly, getting that off, if you're still having trouble getting it off and you need to use the little scraper that came with it, what I've done with my scrapers in the past, and I've talked about this in a couple of tool videos that I did, was when you get those scrapers, they're very sharp on the corners and they don't really have a bevel to them. So if you have a belt sander or something along that line, what I do is I will round over the corners on the actual scraper, and then I'll give it just a very little bit of an edge.
Okay.
So that it
Okay.
allows me to
Yeah,
get
I follow
underneath
you there.
that print a little bit easier and allows me to
Yep,
pop it
yep.
off. The third thing that I would also recommend is when you're using those types of beds, it's always really important to make sure that those beds have cooled back down to room temperature before trying to remove your part. If you're trying to remove them while they're hot, they've still got that stickiness to the bed. So,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
so if you let them cool down,
That makes sense.
they pop off much easier. I mean, as a trick, one of the things I've done is taken, those air cans that you can buy, the cans of air, turned it upside down
absolutely.
and give it a little shake, and then I'll do a couple of quick little spurts around it, and that will also help to cool it down really quickly and allow it to come off the bed.
Okay. Now maybe okay, yeah, that would, I definitely have that, and I also have. Last time I was at Micro Center, I picked up a mini heat gun, and I was like, well, maybe I could just heat it up again and then scrape it off a little easier. But I'll definitely try cooling it off.
Don't use the heat gun on it. You're going to damage that bed surface.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll definitely damage the bed surface.
All right. Yeah. I use the heat gun mainly for like cleaning up the pieces after they're done, like getting all the hairs off and stuff like that.
That's what I do too.
But oh, excellent. Yeah, perfect. Yeah, I just started all this. Like I went down for Achilles tendon surgery back in January.
Oh wow.
And I built myself a high-end PC, and I started streaming and stuff like that. And I'm like, well, if I can build a PC, I can do 3D printing. And
there you go.
So yeah, here we are, and so I bought the Ender 3 Plus. It's the 300 by 300 by 300, and I love it. I mean, out of the box, it works great. I mean, it's easy to use. With the PC I built, the slicing programs.
Yeah,
I have no problem there either.
There you go. Well, thanks for calling, and hope that we've put you in the right direction.
No, absolutely. I appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
All right, take care. All right, somebody else was trying to call in. Go ahead, call me back right now. I apologize. Call waiting. Yeah, I don't have call waiting. Sorry. I don't have a green room. That's something I'm looking into. If the line is busy, just hang up, and once you hear me off the phone, then you can call in. All right, so let's see. Does it work on textured PEI or best on smooth? I'm missing some of the things that we're going through here. There we go. Hey, it's Richard. You're on with me. Thanks for calling. Ask for help. Who's this?
Hey, this is 3D Experiments. How are you?
Hey, good 3D Experiments. What's going on?
Quick question.
Sure.
For PET G,
yeah,
I have heard people say that they prefer it to ASA or ABS, even for functional printer parts, because it has such great layer adhesion. What do you think?
PETG is fine. It's all going to depend on how you're printing it and what it's being used for. PETG is kind of the best of both worlds when it comes to ABS and PLA. So you have the ease of print like PLA, but you have the strength of ABS. ASA is another higher end plastic. It is a very high end styrene based plastic. It does have some great strength. Again, just like ABS, you do need an enclosure to print with it. And it's going to off gas because of the styrene that is in it. So my recommendation, if you don't need anything or you don't have an enclosure and you have family, pets, and you're not in a very well ventilated area, stick with something like PETG because it will give you the same strength. Or very similar strength.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're very welcome. Thanks for calling. All right. So the phone is still open. So the line is 855-891-4275. You can see it up on the screen right there. We're going to leave it up for a little while. There you go. ABS or ASA. Yeah, we just talked about that. ABS or ASA, they're both very good products. Again, they both off gas. Fly for Jesus says, my PET duct is melting. For printer parts, I like ABS or ASA because of the glass temp. I get that. Oh, here we go. Hey, who's calling?
This is Eric Anderson again.
Hey, Eric Anderson.
I have remembered my question that I was going to ask earlier.
Okay.
And it's about software.
Okay.
I notice a lot of people say that you need some kind of boot thing to update your software for the Ender 3.
Depending on what version of the Ender 3 you have. It's all going to depend on what version of the Ender 3 that you have. If you've got an older version that's still using the 8-bit board, then you are going to need what's called a bootloader. And you can get bootloaders direct from Creality, or you can just make your own using an Arduino if you know anything about that. There's plenty of videos online on how to set up a bootloader on an Arduino and then flash your firmware.
Mm-hmm.
If you've got a newer one, like the Pro or the version 2 or version 3, they're using the 32-bit boards. So then you don't have to use a bootloader at all. You can just hook up and upload your new firmware.
Okay. I don't know what version mine is, except it just says Ender 3.
Okay.
But I have the 2.2 32 gig board.
Oh, okay. So then you won't need a bootloader at all. All you need to do is go into whatever software you're using for slicing. You can usually use that. If you're using Cura, there's a way in Cura when you go in to look at the printers that you have. You're basically going into the back end. There'll be a little button there that says update firmware. And all you got to do is connect the cable from your printer to your computer and hit that, load the firmware that you want to load, and it should load up just fine onto your printer. Your printer will reboot, and then you should be just fine and ready to go.
So I can update my software directly through Cura? Absolutely
you can, yes.
Wow, I didn't even know that. Nobody's said anything about that that I remember of.
You know, that's actually giving me a really good idea for another video. Because that's a video I have not done, but I've actually done it myself, so I know that it actually works. I've got a Ender 3 V2 here, version 2. Or no, mine's an Ender 3 Pro. I have an Ender 3 Pro. And it's got the 32-bit board in it, the 2.2 board. So it should be just fine.
Now, one thing I am confused about is people talk about the version 2. Is that actually separate 3D printer that they offer for sale than just the regular Ender 3?
Yes, it is. The Ender 3 V2 is styled a little bit differently, but it performs exactly the same way.
Okay. Yeah, when I first got started and when I first got my Ender 3, I was so confused because they had all these different versions, and they were so confusing. Yeah,
they were, and Creality, in their infinite wisdom, decided they wanted to jump on the bandwagon and make different flavors of a lot of their printers. Unfortunately, it really wasn't a good thing, and the two most popular right now are the Ender 3 Pro and the Ender 3 V2.
Yes, I saw that. That's just about all you see now for the Ender 3 on YouTube is the Pro and the V2.
Yeah, I have a Pro that I've heavily modified, and it is one of my favorite printers. It's upstairs in the lab, which I'm in the process of moving the lab downstairs here in my house, so that way my wife and I can go back into our master bedroom instead of using what will be the lab down here as our master bedroom. With that said, I will let you go. Hopefully I answered your question, and I will do a video on that if you want to hang tough, and that way I'll guide you through it. How's that sound?
That sounds good to me. I sure appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks for calling. All right, the phone line is open again. I saw that there was another caller coming through there. Let me first answer this question from Gary T. Las Vegas, Nevada is on the line. I'm going to get to that call in just a quick second. I'm having multiple jams when using eSun Translucent Sparkle PLA. Tried printing at 240. My next step is to use a larger 0.6 or 0.8 nozzle. Any other ideas? First and foremost, Gary, and I shouldn't have to ask you this, but I will anyway for the sake of our audience, did you print a temperature tower? If you did not, you may run into issues printing that material. Now, the other thing is that it's got an additive, which gives it that sparkle. So that may be causing your jams. So what I would probably do is move up to a 0.6, much like when you're using wood filament or any of the other types of filaments. Somebody from Las Vegas just phoned in, and if you are going to phone again, please. I've got you on the line. So, sorry, I just had to answer that question real quick. Another incoming caller. Nice. Yes, we're getting callers today. That's good. That's good. We're going to run over an hour, which we normally do. Hopefully, I answered your question, Gary. Go to that 0.6 nozzle. I think you'll find that the jams will take care of themselves. And print yourself a temperature tower. That way you're going to find out exactly what's going on. I typically don't like using anything that has an additive in it. But, you know, it is what it is, and some people like it. Here we go. We've got a caller. Hey, good afternoon. Who's calling? Hello.
Hello. Hey.
Who's calling?
This is Shaggy Man.
Yeah, how can I help you?
Yes, sir. I've got a CR-10 V2.
Yep.
And the bed itself has a bubbles in it, so I want to replace it with one of those magnetic plates.
Okay.
The problem is I don't want to take the old plate off. I'm afraid to actually just go in there and wipe that out.
The old plate is stuck down, correct?
Right.
Okay, what I would do is first I would remove it. Definitely I would remove it because those bubbles aren't going to flatten themselves back out. I would definitely go ahead and just take that off and then replace it with whatever type of bed material you want to use, whether that be glass or one of the flex plates or anything like that.
Okay. And what would be your best recommendation to take that off?
What I would do is I would heat up the bed to usually about 50 degrees so that you can still touch it and it's not going to burn your hands. Get underneath one of the corners with your scraper and then start peeling that back. It may leave some of that residue behind. And if it does, all you're going to do is just simply use a microfiber cloth or something that's going to be able to grab that extra glue. Put some alcohol or some Goo Gone or something along that line on your cloth, and then go ahead and wipe off that bed. Once you've got all the glue residue off the bed, go ahead and give it a good cleaning with some clean alcohol and a clean rag. Then lay down your new magnet. Make sure that when you're laying down your magnet, you don't introduce any air bubbles into it. So you're going to start at one edge and you're going to flatten it out as you go along. Okay?
Okay. All right. And it seems like I've had the worst luck with beds. I had a TiVo Tornado and it was warped in the center, and this one's got bubbles all over it. I've yet to be able to use all that 400 millimeters.
Yeah, one of the things I find with a lot of these printers that are coming with these magnetic sheets on them is that the magnets themselves aren't put down very well in a lot of ways, and it can cause problems. So the best bet is you can even go along and just poke a hole in where those bubbles are and try and flatten them out yourself if you want to do that, if you don't want to replace anything. But my recommendation is just get rid of that old magnet, take it off, give it a good cleaning, and put a new magnet down, and avoid getting the air bubbles under it in the first place.
Oh, I don't have a magnet on it now.
Okay.
What I've got is a textured surface from Creality.
Oh, yeah. Just go ahead and that's what I would do myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks.
All right.
So that Las Vegas caller's got to call me back. He hung up on me the first time. Yeah. Let's have a look here to see what Gary says. I was looking for translucent, and the sparkle was the one that they had. I'm not a big fan of eSun, to be perfectly honest with you. It's not been one of my favorites. I like their ABS, to be perfectly honest with you, but some of their others I'm not a big fan of. I think that when it comes to their sparkles and things like that, they add too much of that into the filament, and it can make the filament brittle over time. There we go. You are on with me. Who's calling?
Hi, my name is Max.
Hey, Max, how you doing?
I'm doing great, thanks. So it feels good to be live. I have a question. I have an Ender 3. I installed a direct drive.
Yeah.
With really good cooling with like 250-15s as cooling of the part.
Okay.
And another 50-15 cooling the radiator.
Okay.
So when I have a problem printing PETG, I printed it I use like eSun PETG. The box says like maximum 245, but even if I do it like 260, I still get like really bad layer adhesion, you know?
Okay.
Especially when printing like in the VAS modus.
Is your fan on or off?
I put it at 50%.
Too much.
Too much, huh?
That's too much fan, yeah. You only want, when you're printing PETG, if you absolutely need any cooling, because you're getting sagging or whatever in your print, then I would only add maybe 10 to 15%. I've never gone over 20% tops when I'm printing PETG. And it all depends on the manufacturer of the PETG. My first recommendation is before you do anything, and you saw me talk about this a little bit earlier, print yourself a temperature tower before you do any other printing. This is going to tell you a ton of information. First and foremost, it's going to tell you what temperature it looks best at, what you're getting, what you're getting the cleanest lines, where you're getting the least amount of stringing, that sort of thing. That's going to give you that starting point for printing that material. Now, the second thing that it does is it's going to show you where you're getting your sharpest corners and that sort of thing. So then you can do, your minor adjustments, whether that be retraction or things like that. But having the fans that you have on your system and printing in the manner in which you're printing, especially with PETG, I would lower those fans to roughly about 10, maybe 15% tops and try it again. And that should solve your problem.
Okay, that's great piece of advice, actually. I never thought of lowering the fans down.
Yeah. A lot of times I don't print with fans at all when I'm printing PETG. Again, it depends on the manufacturer.
Yeah, that's what I was figuring because my first layers are pretty good, and I have the fans off for the first 2 layers.
Yeah.
And then it all starts to go like really bad adhesion.
It's because it's cooling way too fast as it's laying down to the layer underneath, and that's why it's not getting the right amount of adhesion from layer to layer.
Mm-hmm. Perfect. Well, thank you so much for answering the question. I appreciate it.
You're very welcome. Thanks for calling.
All right. Have a good one. Bye-bye.
You too. There we go. Look at that. We got calls today. I'm so happy. Dual 50-51s on PETG. Yeah, that is a tough one. That is a tough one for sure. That is definitely a tough one. Spray the bed with IPA, let it soak for 5 minutes or so, and it'll loosen the adhesive. Yeah, that's what I do too, is I'll put it onto a rag of some sort, and I'll just kind of lay that on there. All right, so we are doing well. We're just a little over an hour. I'm glad that the phone line works. Listen, if you get a busy signal, just hang up and wait till you see me that I'm off the phone. I know sometimes it's like calling the radio station to be to enter the phrase that pays, but unfortunately, I'm going to run into that. A good filament compartment is atomic filament. For PETG is great. Okay, well, I've never tried atomic filament. but I'm sure I will probably in 2023. 2023 is going to be an interesting year. I'm kind of excited about it. We've got new hardware. We've got a new way for you guys to have your questions answered. We're still taking questions at TheFirstLayer.com, so you can always send in your questions there. We also, we do appreciate it when you guys do this, and that is subscribe. If you're not subscribed, please go ahead and do so. That helps us. Give us a thumbs up if you like the content in today's show. Really do appreciate it. It helps our metrics, and it helps us get seen by people who wouldn't normally get a chance to find our channel, because we are still a fairly small channel. We've been doing this for 5 years. This has been my life, literally, for the last 4 years. And this is what I do. And now that I also, I work for filaments.ca, I'm going to be totally transparent about that. Oh, we got Tim Acoyne calling in. Hey, there's Tim Acoyne.
Hi there. How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I couldn't let this go by without doing a call-in. And I do actually have a question.
Oh, you do?
I do. So
you can't use this on your show tonight.
No, we can't. No. My question is nylon. I have a heck of a time getting nylon to stick to a bed. Now, is, from what I've heard, purple glue stick the best adhesive for nylon?
Yes and no. It's all going to depend on the surface in which you're printing on. If you're printing on a textured surface, the nylon should have enough liquidity. I guess that's the word, liquidity. Should be soft enough to go into the texture on that bed and stay down.
Okay.
If you're printing onto a smooth surface like glass or like smooth PEI, you are going to want to have some sort of additional adhesive. Now, there are a couple of out there that are good. I know Magic Goo makes one specially for nylon.
Oh, okay.
And it might be something to try for printing nylon for you. And I know that you've got a lot of enclosed printers in your lab, so that might be a good thing to look into. Try glue stick first, see how it works. It may not give you the adhesion that you're looking for, but I know that the Magic Goo nylon adhesive will work very, very well.
Okay, I'll have to look into that. I've tried nanopolymer adhesive, and it still doesn't work. And I thought that stuff was really good for nylon, but I will try the Magic Goo nylon.
Yeah.
I'll order some of that and try it. Wonderful.
There you go. Thanks, Tim.
Okay, thank you so much.
All
okay,
right, buddy.
Great show. Bye-bye.
See how easy it is? You can just call in. Man, I love this. We're doing a bunch of cool stuff, and I'm enjoying this. We're going to do a lot more of this as we move forward into 2023. We've only got a few weeks left here. As a matter of fact, how many episodes do we have? How many more live streams do we have? We have 2 more live streams, and one is on Christmas Day, which I don't think we're gonna skip Christmas Day because nobody wants to be here Christmas Day. Nobody wants to watch me on Christmas Day, but you may want to watch me on New Year's Day because I will be back on New Year's Day. I might take Christmas Day off. I think that might be a good idea. And then it's back to work for me on the 26th. So filaments.ca is open through the holidays. They are closed, of course, on the 24th and the 25th. And I believe we are open on Boxing Day right through to the 30th. So we will be there all that week. Hey, Non-Fam, glad to see you here. Look at that. There's Non-Fam. There's our friend Non-Fam. I want to make Non-Fam a moderator in our group. So I hope that he will accept. Because right now I only have Tim as a moderator. Now that I don't have Brian and my wife doesn't do this with me as often as she used to, I'd like to get Non-Fam as one of my moderators. Any holiday deals? Mac, yeah, I would say that filaments.ca just had a big Black Friday sale. I'm sure there's going to be some holiday deals as well. I haven't heard anything yet. But I'm not on the sales end of the floor, so it's, it is what it is. But yeah, it's oh, there we go. Yeah, I gotta get non-fam on here as a moderator. Hopefully he'll accept my proposal to be a moderator. Not that kind of proposal. They're open on Boxing Day. Yes. What a surprise. From what my understanding is that they are running throughout Christmas. There is no dates that they are closed throughout that week. And just looking at the calendar, I believe that they are open the 26th to the 30th. They're still taking orders. They're still going to be shipping out. How well that works with the way that things are going, parcel wise, we'll have to play that by ear. But and then I believe they are closed on the 2nd, but they will reopen on the 3rd. I'm not too sure about that. I could be wrong, but Boxing Day is a big day for them. So I believe that they're going to be open the 26th through to the 30th. They may close early on the 30th. Who knows? There we go. Oh, okay. So non-fam will. I'm going to have to set you up to be a moderator on the channel then. Yes, thank you very much. So I know you're always here when I do a live stream. Sometimes you show up late, but that's okay. I'm looking for people that I can trust to be moderators on the stream. And HVAC A to Z has been here for a long time as well. He would be another one that would be on my list, as well as Ricky B. These are all people that have been around, and Mac has been around for a long time as well. So if any of you are interested in being a moderator on the channel, we can discuss it. And I know that Non-Fam is a moderator over on DeWitt 3D's channel. And of course, you can see DeWitt is a moderator over here on my channel. So yeah, it's with Brian and Jess and my wife gone, it's tough to moderate myself because I've got so much going on here with the camera switcher and all these fancy looks that we've got, and the Stream Deck and the mixer and all kinds of stuff. I am going to be changing up a few things here. You'll notice that I can bring in chat now. I'm going to put this one up so you guys can see it. You can see that I can bring in chat. It's a little different than I used to do it, but I really like the way it comes up now. And this is a plugin I've shared with Tim as well. And we're going to get it running on his system as well very soon. So Tim will have almost an identical setup to mine very soon. So it'll be really easy. It'll just be like quick little buttons on the Stream Deck, and he'll be up and running. I keep looking down at the monitor, and I should be looking into the camera. I'm sorry. I've got time to take one more call today. It's 3:15, so we'll take one more call if somebody wants to call in. The number is 855-891-4275. The phone line will be off after the stream ends, so you won't be able to call in after the stream ends. So I just want to make that clear for everybody. But you can call in. We're going to go till 3:30 today, I think. So a little over 15 minutes. We'll keep going. And the number is 855-891-4275. And there are our members down at the bottom. I want to thank our members for all of their support and sticking with the channel while we had a really bad 2022. 2023 is going to be much better. I'm getting back into doing regular videos. So there'll be videos that will come out once a week as well. I am producing videos for other people for filaments.ca as well. So you'll see my shining face over on the filaments.ca YouTube channel. I'm doing a lot of shorts for them right now. I'm going to be doing 12 different filaments coming up here real soon. Hey, who do we have on the line?
This is Josh Fullerton again calling in.
Hey, Josh.
Hey, I picked up that Beagle camera system by Minshan.
Yep.
And I was just wondering if you had any suggestions on that.
I haven't used the Beagle Cam at all. I've used the one from Creality, and I think they're pretty much the same thing. They're not very different from one another. They're kind of an all-in-one solution. Now I had problems with the one from Creality because their app sucks. I'm not sure what the app for the Beagle is like, but if it's anything like the one that Creality put out, it's just horrible. Signing into it can be a problem. I don't know if you've run into that yet. Do they have it for both Android and iOS?
Yeah, they have it for both systems there, and I've done a few prints, and I'm just kind of, I have it sitting here, and I'm like, okay, should I install this thing? And I think I'm going to. I'm just doing a coin holder right now.
Okay.
I got like 4 hours to go on it. Once that's done, I think I'm going to install this thing because it has time-lapse video on it.
Gotcha.
So,
yeah, try it out. I mean, you got nothing to lose. It's not going to harm your firmware or anything like that. It should just once you've got the app downloaded to your phone or to your tablet, whichever you're going to use it on, it'll give you a chance to monitor, or at least it should give you a chance to monitor no matter where you are in the world. You should also be able to run prints as long as they're loaded on an SD card prior to you're leaving the print room or the care of the printer. It's something that it's not going to hurt anything. Go ahead, try it out. I'm definitely interested to see how it goes. Leave us some feedback over on our Facebook page, or put a comment on this video afterwards when you after you've played with it a little bit. I'd be happy to know more.
Yeah, absolutely. I most definitely will. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thanks for calling again.
Yeah, have a good day. Bye.
You too, bud. Bye. There you go. All right, so 3D Experiments, he's got to run. We appreciate you coming by today. I do appreciate it. And, yeah, I'll do my best. I know you'll do your best. You're a good guy. You're a good guy. Now, does this 2 o'clock time work for you guys? When, because I've rescheduled. You guys know I used to do this at noon on Sundays. But 2 o'clock just seems to give me a little bit more of a breather. I'm not so rushed in the morning. I can kind of relax and run my day that way. And then I can get on, and I'm not so stressed out when I first get on. So I got a few more things I want to do to get this visually working for everybody. So things are going to look a lot better, a little bit more professional, and go that route. Now, yeah, like I said in the don't buy it, make it. So if you don't want to spend any money this year and you've got that filament kicking around your house, make your friends and family something nice for Christmas using your 3D printer. I'm going to tell you right now that they are going to appreciate that a whole lot more than they would if you got them something from the store, unless it's, your wife and she wanted that diamond ring. Sorry about that. Steve Builds was still on at noon. Okay, so Steve, I don't want to overlap anybody. Eric says 2 o'clock works good for him. Alteracious, 2 is better for me. Mark, 2 is great here. So 2 o'clock it is. We're going to stay at 2 o'clock every Sunday afternoon. I am not going to be streaming on Christmas Day, but I will stream on New Year's Day. So we've got a couple more episodes to go here. Just having a quick look. So our next episode will be on the 18th, and then we're going to take a break on Christmas Day, and then we will be back on the first day of a brand new year and do a bunch of great stuff. 3D printed diamond with translucent filament. That's a great idea. RT says, I printed a Christmas tree star for my daughter, and she loves it. You see, that is the way to do it. Print your family something this Christmas. It's something I wanted to talk about when I was talking about this TPU today. The Cheetah TPU, like I said, is a great product. I'm going to do some more stuff with it. Here's my squishy beaver. And I know you guys are going to have tons of jokes out there about my squishy beaver. So, yeah. Yeah, when it comes to 3D printing, I always think that you can make some really incredible stuff. And if you're not 3D printing and you've got that 3D printer, dust it off. Try it again. It's definitely worth it. Alteracious, good idea. Yeah, translucent filament. If you've got a lady in your life, print her a giant diamond out of translucent filament. HVAC A to Z says, my wife wants exactly that, a diamond ring again. There you go. Fly for Jesus says, OMG. Best filament, a 3D print, a lump of coal. Oh, I've got the perfect filament. I do. It is called Galaxy Black. Find yourself some Galaxy Black. Galaxy Black has little specks in it, so it's going to look like a chunk of coal. I like it. RT, Star Wars Christmas tree ornaments are the best to print. Yes, they are. I was biting my tongue. Sean Dell 3D. Yeah. Well, hey, listen. For Christmas, all you need is a squishy beaver. That's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm going. I think that's a great place to end. Unless we get another phone call in the next 10 minutes, that's a good place to almost wrap things up. This went off the rails really, really quickly. Yes, it did go off the rails really quickly. Again, if you guys haven't yet, please consider subscribing. I know my hair is looking a little wild today. It's getting really long. My wife said I'm starting to look like an aged rock and roll guy. And it's long and gray. She says I should cut that stuff. So maybe I will. Maybe I'll do that. That's what I'm going to tell my wife. A squishy beaver for Christmas. There you go. Yeah. Where do I go from there? Hey, listen, I can't remember who sent these to me, but they were sent to me a couple of years ago for me, Brian, Jess, and my wife. These coasters, they were made with PLA and a rubber bottom. So this was layered. And the rubber bottom actually sticks really well. It gives it a non-skid surface. So if you want to layer your prints, I'm going to do some videos on how to do this without a multi-material head. So we'll see some of those videos in the very near future as well. So that's what I'm going to tell my wife. Yeah, okay. All I need is a squishy. There you go. Everybody needs a squishy this holiday season. That's for sure. That's what I'm saying. Everybody needs a holiday squishy. Yes, absolutely. So I'm going to wrap things up here, and I want to thank those guys who phoned in today and used our phone service for the very first time. Again, we'll have this going again next week. If you are going to be a part of the show, remember, call in, and I'll put the number up on the screen again next week, and we are going to have a great time. Fantastic stream. Love the new call-in format. Thank you very much, Tim. I appreciate it. Take care, everyone. Andy Mock says, you guys all take care. Sean Dell 3D says, take care, everyone, as well. I hope that you guys are going to have yourselves a great holiday season. Don't go spend a lot of money. Go ahead and print something for someone you love. And I will see you next Sunday right here on The First Layer. Ask for help. Hey, call and ask for help. And until I see you guys then, remember that The First Layer is always your foundation to a great print. See you guys next time.